I have to really keep it clear here. This has got to be one of the sloppiest, updates I've ever seen in a game. It really has to be. Because first off, we gotta preface this. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh, Brandon ruined the game. Brandon ruined the game." Yes, technically he did, because now he was previously the owner of the game. He owned a lot of the shares and percent of the game, but now he's deciding to actually do something and put himself into the picture and develop it. Well, guess what happens the second he decides to develop his first update and rush it out within, I guess, a 48-hour time frame, because that's what they were saying. You get a buggy, stolen art mess with a map that looked garbage, an infinite tower mode that holds no purpose anymore, because somehow the boss has not learned his lesson and decided, yes, I'm going to drop an infinite mode, an Infinity Castle mode, where you can get 5 rerolls every single stage that you do. Why did you think that was a good idea? Oh, 5 rerolls on 100 gems per floor. That has to be balanced. That will work perfectly fine. There will be no issues. It won't mess up the economy of the game. Guess what it did? It messed up the economy of the game if it wasn't already bad enough. And then so to balance that, you get super stat chips per 10 floors, and in total you get a couple hundred rerolls now, as well as 20,000 to 50,000 gems, if I remember. But still, why? Why did you not just release it like a normal Infinity Castle mode in the first place? Because now people that didn't get the chance to grind it or weren't even playing when it was like that, now guess what? They're mad because they missed out, and now everyone else has thousands of rerolls to chill with. What crossed your mind to make you think that was a good idea? Genuinely. And also, what crossed your mind to make you think that taking art from Gulri and ASTD was a good idea to put on your map? People aren't going to point that out. Guess what? People are going to point that out when they realize it and they play the mode. And then you drop an entire dock. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Here it is. I found it. The balance changes they made in this update make literally 0 sense. Move and skill balance changes. Mahito got some black flash changes to the damage, but then they lower the cooldowns to match them. So you're going to damage scale it from 3 times to 2.5 times, but then you're going to cut the cooldown of it under half. So you lowered it by 0.5 times damage, but then just doubled the DPS of it because it can go off twice as fast. What's the point of doing that? The same goes with Yuta. Damage scaling 3 times to 2.25, but then you lower the cooldown of that same skill by half. What was the point in lowering its damage? What was the point? You make all of these changes to then, make the JJK characters basically not change at all. So why even waste time doing them? And then you buff up all the Record of Ragnarok characters to make them the best units in the entire game up until this update, and which I'm pretty sure is better than every unit in this update, because all the update units that came out were garbage. I saw an image last night. I'd have to go find it in my editing. But in that image, the newest, strongest unit, the white-haired dude, I forget his name, but he's the strongest in Tokyo Ghoul or whatever, from my knowledge, he is. He was doing less damage and had less HP and higher cooldowns than my vampire Sukuna. So the guy with the best trait in the game, newest character from this update, is significantly weaker than a weaker trait Sukuna from 2 updates before. Now, I'm not saying every unit has to outstat the other, because I believe that it's better for characters to power skill them wise in a, kind of how JoJo's does it with their stands. Make their passives power scale one another rather than the pure damage, because then you can be more creative with it. But obviously, the boss can't think that hard, right? So, you make all of these balance changes for literally no reason, besides just, guess what, guys? Now we're going to go to the formula where every new update is going to have either really trash units or the best units in the entire game that will be meta forever. Or just make every other unit completely useless. Sung Jin Woo got nerfed. Why? Don't really know. I mean, I know he was the best unit in the game. It was just a couple HP nerfs. But now you're just going to make people mad because now you're nerfing a unit that people grinded for and spent rerolls on and spent time on. Now he's weaker and might not be the best character in the game. So why would you do that knowing that it's going to piss people off? Instead of just balancing the game's difficulty along with it. It's fine if you just leave Sung Jin Woo as he is, and then over a couple updates, he eventually comes out of the meta. He still would be a part of it, but he wouldn't be overall the best because you would upcharge the game just a little bit each single time until eventually you get to a difficulty point where he's just not the number one. And then you can just start gradually going from there, kind of how Anime Vanguards does it, how their units are meta for a long, long time. But we can't do that here because we can't think and we don't have good balancers, or we just don't care to. Buffing up Stark, Sid, giving some stat changes. Sukuna got buffed as well. I don't really know why you're buffing like any of these units. I think they were pretty much fine as they were because they could solo everything in the entire game. Really, I seriously don't understand why you would do that. That doesn't make any sense to me. It confuses me. It genuinely confuses me. And then he's like, Timmy Tough Knuckles patches out. Bro, you didn't do anything, bro. Actions speak louder than words, especially when everyone hates you either way. Man, I wonder why people hate you, Mr. the Boss, because you buy all of these passion project games from people, turn them into slop greedy macro fests, and then go on with your day and then buy another game and do the same thing. You do it. You literally just go around, you ruin games and promote your main ones to try and eliminate competition. That is literally what you do. It's not even a factual, fictional thing. It is a fact. It is a fact that you do that because that's what you've been shown to do in the past with almost every tower defense game that is up and coming. The only one that I haven't seen touch is Anime Ascensions, and I'm pretty sure that's just because they actually care about their game and they're trying. Now, is that glaze for Anime Ascensions? No, I'm not trying to glaze them. I'm just putting out a fact. Also, I see a lot about CCU. I hope you realize that days ago, Paradox was already hitting below 4K. Yes, it was. And guess what? Now it's at 6,000. As of recording this video, the game is at 6,000. 6.5K, bro. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you expect this to... You call this an improvement? You call this an attempt? Dude, you put this update together in like a day, maybe two. When you could have then spent and been like, guys, look, we're going to take like an extra week on this update. We know the game has issues. We're going to talk with the community. We're going to put together a plan and we're going to make it better. We're going to improve and we're going to make a really nice, fun update for you guys. It might not be perfect. It might not be the best, but we're going to try. But no, instead, you decide to do hype, 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 hype. Delivery is a pile box of dog poop. And then you make us eat it, and then when we do eat it and say it's crap, you blame it on the fact that people are just hating. And then you try to come up with excuse. There is no excuse. You have been in this game for multiple years, Mr. Brawls. You're literally just extorting people for money and their time. Give someone else the reins, dude. You clearly have no clue what you're doing, nor do you really care for the community. You can say it all that you want. I care. You know who else says that? The leaders of countries that murder thousands to millions of people every day. Screw us all over every day. You are no different from that. Am I saying that you do the same crimes? No, absolutely not. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that there is no difference between you saying, it's going to get better, it's going to get better, it's going to get better. We'll be fine, I care about the community. You don't. You don't. You make it very blatantly obvious, especially with how you're treating Anime Rangers X as well, and the community of that game. Oh, I've seen it, and there's going to be a video on it tomorrow, don't worry. So yes, is this update garbage? Absolutely. The units are weak, they need buffs, or they just need to be better in some way. Something needs to happen here, because clearly the boss has no idea what he's doing with these units, or this game in general. He just doesn't know what to do. Nor does he feel like putting actual effort in to make it good. Which is just sad. It's sad. This game has very, very high hopes and very high potential, but it's been giving the reins of some of the weakest devs I have ever seen. And before someone goes, oh, well, I'd like to see you do better. Now, dude, you could say that about literally anything in the entirety of the world and try to act like you're smart for saying that. You're not. You're not. I don't want to. I really don't want to see that stupid shit in the comments because I know some people might try to type it. Genuinely, get better. This game needs to improve. All of Brandon's games need to improve. They need to have just loving, caring people behind them that actually want to make a good community, because clearly these games do not. And it's really sad to see. So enough about me yapping. It's going to be the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some knowledge on what's going on and just the actual habitual state, man. My God, I swear to God, I've seen that Tokyo Ghoul thumbnail before as well in the game, but I'm not going to call it anything for that. It's just sad, man. It's genuinely just sad.